smoking a really puttied up CustomBilt. I mean, the whole thing is putty. It's like, is there any wood in there? I like the shape though. And I don't know if you're like me, you know, some people just need perfect pipes. I do not need perfect pipes. In fact, goddamn big trucks. Sometimes it's the runts of the litter that are more attractive, you know. Just me, I guess. So I'm smoking some Chesapeake, which has a nice baggy note. Aromatic something. It's from the Country Squire in Jackson, Mississippi. So let's talk coyotes. Would you stop that chainsaw? Jeez. Sometimes it's so loud around here. At night it's just dead silent, which is delightful. Except for last night where I got rousted for a fire call. That was exciting. So coyotes. So I met this guy once, I forget where it was. He was with his wife, older guy, kind of a crazy guy. He was back in Colorado, I forget what that was about, what the context was. But anyway, he had this concept that we are now who we were then. So, meaning that there is a consistent thread of personality in all of us that sometimes the corporate world or whatever tries to diminish, but it's under there. If you dig, oh yeah, it's this, you know, you're the same kid you were when you were 4. Hardened, scarred, and wizened, perhaps, but you are the same person, essentially. That core personality is still there, but we often lose track of it. So, anyway, that's probably a whole different discussion. I didn't really mean to launch onto that. Just talking about coyotes, I had this coyote experience when I was in high school. And I'm thinking, I am now who I was then in high school. Same kind of, you know, I go in a little later in the morning, I work later into the evening when it's quiet. I have that opportunity to do that normally. And I was talking with the maintenance guy, and he said, oh yeah, we don't normally let people stay here, you know, but for you, there's always been this exception. I don't know why. So maybe it's partly the job I have there. Who knows? It's just me. So that is just another blessing in my life. So, so back in high school, I would stay after school and like take care of aquariums and stuff, you know. That was before computers. So these days kids might be in the computer lab, I don't know. But I would often then go to the library in town in Golden, Colorado, and hang out there until they closed at like 9. Great place. Yeah, I was just a weird kid. As then, I was pretty much of a loner, but I had a lot of friends. Different, yeah. So, anyway, so I can remember in Golden, Colorado, you can see it in the Coors advertisements, or can you, that there's the Table Mountains right there. There's North Table Mountain, there's South Table Mountain. Well, I lived on the other side of South Table Mountain from the town of Golden. So at 9 o'clock, of course, school buses aren't running. and I would just walk home. So it was a goodly walk, and you had to ascend to the top of the mesa, walk along the flat top of the mesa, and then descend down a road that was now more of a trail on the east side, and then to home. So it gave me some exercise, put me out in nature. It was just a good thing all around. Maybe not very sociable. I always have had no problem being sociable. I got that from my dad. So, so it got to be 9 o'clock, and they kicked me out of the library, and that was fine. And it was snowy, and had snowed, and it was chilly. It wasn't terribly cold, probably 20 degrees. And there was a low cloud deck, as I remember. And in Denver, sometimes that was a little unusual because it was clear a lot of the time. So there was this low cloud deck, maybe 2,000 or 3,000 foot high cloud, thick clouds, and they were reflecting the lights of Denver farther to the east and all the suburbs. So it was really very light up there. And I don't remember carrying a flashlight. I probably did. I mean, these days I always carry a flashlight. These O-Light flashlights are awesome. A friend of mine turned me onto these. They're kind of spendy at 70 bucks. But wow, 1,000 lumens. It's perfect. So you can keep it in your pocket with you all the time. Yeah, I'm a fireman. Volunteer fireman. Gotta have a light. So I ascended up. No danger of rattlesnakes in the winter. Good thing. In the summer, yes, many rattlesnakes up there. So I ascended and was walking along in the glow from the clouds, the reflected light of the city, and it was quite bright up there. And very flat. You know, it's just this kind of flat rolling miles of flatness up there. And nobody had built houses up there. There'd been stuff at one time or another. Right now I think it's probably county open space. But not a lot of foliage or anything up there either. You know, Denver can be kind of barren. And it was up on a basalt mesa, so there really wasn't. A little bit of sagebrush maybe. So I'm walking along, just thinking how pretty it is. And up ahead of me, I see, what is that? A dog? So, just trotting along towards me, and I stop. And it wasn't probably a quarter mile away, it wasn't even that much. It was like 6 coyotes in a line, and they were all just trotting towards me. And coyotes are really common there. But it was like, I had nothing. There weren't even sticks up there. There were no trees, you know. So I think I reached down and I grabbed a rock, and that was going to be my defense. So these coyotes were just loping along, obviously hoping to scare something up as they did this line of 6 coyotes moving in unison. And I thought, wow. You know, and that was before cell phones of any type. I was in high school. That was 1975, 76. So, there I am, thinking, what will it feel like to get torn apart by 6 coyotes? You know, it was just like otherworldly. This, you know, you are just totally alone up there. You know, how will they find my body? Will they find my body? Will the coyotes just drag pieces off hither and yon and they'll never find the whole body? You know, I mean, it was like, this could turn out badly, you know. But these coyotes were just calm as a cucumber, just walking along. And clearly they knew I was there. I mean, obviously, but they were just continuing towards me, and then the 2 that were kind of coming right at me went around and the others kind of gave them a little more room and spread out. They went around and kept a respectful distance. I'm going to say at least 100 feet, so 30 meters or so, which is still pretty damn close. And they were just loping along, very relaxed. I don't think they even looked sideways at me, you know. But boy, I sure had my eyes on them. And then after they went around me, gone a little wide to get around me, they reformed into their original distance apart and just kept walking until they were out of sight. And I was thinking, oh, they're going to head back. They didn't, you know. So that was my my coyote experience. And I really haven't. Was walking up the driveway in the dark after work one time, about 10 o'clock at night, and zoom right past me, the width of the driveway. A coyote just flashed right by me, and because it was hemmed in by blackberry bushes on one side and a big stand of bamboo and stuff, so it couldn't really get around me, or chose not to. I thought that was a little brazen. I mean, it was probably, I could have reached out and touched it. So, but it was streaking by me. It really wasn't interested in stopping or anything. And then one other time I was walking home from work in the dark on the highway up here. It's not a highway, it's a major two-lane road. That's what all that traffic sounded. It's about a block away. And I'm walking along, and it's late, and there's no traffic on the road. And there are these deer on the shoulder of the street there. And it's like, hey guys, what are you doing here? You know, they would normally have skittered off. They were just right there, and then I kept walking towards them, and they were a little nervous, you could tell, but they really weren't moving. And so I went out into the road and around them, kind of the way the coyotes had me, on top of South Table Mountain. And I could hear something growling down in the woods. And it was like, I don't know what that was. It wasn't a cougar. I was thinking it might have been raccoons having a fight or something like that. But it could have been coyotes too. Maybe I was, hi kitty, I was getting in the way of their meal or something. Here, let's pick you up. Hi. It's your chance to be. Yes, oh yeah. You didn't really like pipe smoke, I don't think. So I worry about her. She still likes to stay out. She's got a great cat house that is very protective and defensible. And there's quite a bit of defensible space around here. But coyotes, of course, nab kitties all the time. So, did you hear that? So, but she's just not a, she'll stay indoors. I try and keep her in at night. But sometimes she just won't have it, and she needs to be outdoors. And when I'm gone on trips, she lives in her little cat house out on the back porch, and the kids next door feed her and water her and love up on her. But I worry about her. So, coyotes. 3,000 within the Chicago city limits? Bones, really? That's a lot. Not surprising, perhaps.